So is this on YouTube then, or?
Yeah.
Cool.
Welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to be looking at this amazing tool chest that was created by a man named Jim Schuster. Now, this video, I'm going to have it be more natural because it's Jim sharing his passion with us. I mean, he put 1.5 years into this chest. He'd been collecting for, I believe he said, since 2014 for it. So this video is going to be mostly talking, him reviewing the different tools, looking at the different tools, how we built the chest, those kinds of things. If you're the kind of person that does not like talking, I will do a separate video that just shows the panels of this tool chest. So keep an eye out for that one. Before we dive in, I got to back up for a second.
We never
just squish together. Act like you guys know each other.
There you go. All right.
There we go.
All right.
And then just smile.
All right.
This whole trip would not have been possible if it wasn't for this man right here. This is David, and I am proud to call him my friend. He was a fan of the shop that invited me out to do a shop tour out in Ohio, and he planned this awesome weekend of flea markets and shop tours, and we got to hang out with this guy named George. I'll have a future video coming out about him. He's been a carpenter since 10 years old, so he shares his knowledge on Stanley and Sargent and all these different tools. The guy in the middle is Jim. That's the shop we're checking out now. The really tall guy is Brian. He's a friend of mine from Facebook that was close to us, so I was happy to have him along and actually meet him in person. The guy on the end, I have no idea who he is. Just ignore him. But, all right, let's dive in.
I get different comments from it, and this Don Williams tested it one day. You ever heard of him?
Yeah, he did the book on Henry Studley's tool chest.
You know what? He saw my chest, and he says he liked it, and that was a real comment.
Oh, yeah.
That's a real
That's a big,
to me.
yeah.
But anyway, it took about 1.5 years to do this thing, so. But I got some ideas from the Studley, and the Studley is my inspiration, actually, so. But I tried not to duplicate it because you can't duplicate the Studley. Without further ado, I'll open it up here a little bit and kind of show you what it looks like here. So, but this is part of it here, and the thing is, sometimes somebody will come and want to see the tools, and they'll look at it and they'll say, "Wow, that's pretty nice." So sometimes I won't go any further than that. You know, it's and it, like I said, it took me about 1.5 years to figure out where to put the tools and how to do them, and how to set them up so they're kind of displayed, you know, in some symmetrical order and stuff that. So. But I had all the tools, but it was just figuring out how to display them and stuff like that. So,
are those all whites?
Yeah, these are LJ and I white. Yeah, these and these are two actually.
Yes.
Yeah, I bought this from a fella in Norwalk. He was cleaning out a shop, and he had these, and I went to his house and bought those. And he's been over since, and he kind of wishes he didn't sell them to me because, but I had a place for him, you know.
Right.
And then I got these, the crank necks, and these are all LI and J white too. Now the carving tools are Buck Brothers, I think mostly. So, but I had the sets. But sometimes it's hard to find the certain sets, like in little draw shaves.
Did you see that?
This is, of course, the hardest one to find. And Dan Reber. I had to get this from Dan Reber. And I had to pay a small fortune for just this one to make the set.
Yeah.
But to make the little individual holders for it, that's what took the time a lot.
Yeah.
And but some of the things are just on here with little earth magnets.
Oh, that's cool.
And they just cling in place there.
I
So
love how you did all these little holders, though. But they're dedicated.
yeah,
Like.
and it was a challenge to make these, and this thing I didn't know if I'd have room for it, but it's set in here, and then I had smaller ones, of course, and just displaying it. That's what took the time.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So, like I said, sometimes this will be enough for somebody to see. They totally have seen enough, and I usually won't go any further. You know, this.
Wait till he opens it up.
I can see that there's more doors. I'm like,
So,
hold on, because there's stuff hidden back there. That
Well, you got more. You got. You're gonna get.
It's got layers.
Some of the harder things to find are the Forstners
oh yeah.
with the brace and bits. I had to really look for these and get a set of these, so you don't see those that often. So anyway, some of the stuff was hard to find. Now, some of the stuff is newer. These are probably 1960s or something. These
Yeah.
were sold at...
Those are clays.
yeah, these are footprint.
Okay.
These are footprint. So,
Yeah.
and I wish the handles looked a little older, but they,
Yeah,
Rough
they
them up a
don't.
little bit.
it is what it
They
is.
don't. Right.
I love
It
the
is
little
what
mini
it is,
perfect
so.
handles.
Yeah. Yeah, the little perfect handles.
Yeah.
Of course, the harder ones to find are the smaller ones.
Yeah.
Those are the
Those are my favorite
always,
ones.
Always the harder ones to find.
Yeah.
So,
What's this silver hammer on the right wall here?
what's that now?
Silver hammer? All right.
Yeah, this is
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's kind of a display hammer, but it's an older one.
Yeah.
And it's actually in the hammer book. Have you ever seen the hammer book? There was two fellas that did the hammer book, and that's in there.
That's a sugar hammer.
And I forget what the name of this is. It's got a certain name, but this was one.
A sugar
And
hammer?
then
That's a sugar hammer.
another one was the goat head hammer. These,
Oh, that's awesome.
these are harder to find too. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Sugar hammers. When you bought sugar in the 17th century, it was in a block.
Oh, so you'd have to... Oh,
Yeah. So these
okay.
have some weight. These have some
Yeah.
weight
Yeah,
to
it's
it
heavy.
there.
Yeah,
Oh, wow, yeah.
And,
it's a sugar hammer.
That's beautiful.
and I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's in the
Hammer book.
hammer book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got to have the hammer book if you're a hammer guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you're a hammer guy.
Yes, sir, he is.
Yeah, so there's some different things. This right here is kind of interesting. Well, this, first of all, I got this. I got this thing,
What is that?
and I couldn't figure out what it was. So I
know
was
what it is?
told. What is it?
It's for cork, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, it's a cork. It's a cork cutter sharpener.
Yeah.
that's correct. The
So
sharpener.
I got the cork cutter sharpener, and I thought,
And then what the hell is this for?
well, what do the cork cutters look like if this is a cork cutter sharpener?
Right.
So one day I was on eBay, and the guy was selling these plumbing supplies. He called them plumbing supplies, and he didn't know what they were. These are the cork cutters right here,
Right.
and they're all individual,
Right.
and they cut different size corks.
Right. And you bought a sheet of cork. You bought a sheet that was rolled up.
Yeah.
And then you cut all your own corks
Yeah,
because
because all the medicines and stuff like that were in the little bottles, and they would use the corks to,
That's correct.
to hold them with.
there were no
So
caps.
anyway, I got this
Yeah.
years later after I got the cork cutter sharpener.
Right.
So it's kind of funny how things
That-
how
yeah,
things
that's
come along.
neat.
So anyway,
Wow.
that's that. So there's a lot of weird things there.
Then when you open the door, then you
Yeah.
then you get amazed.
So anyway, we'll open the door.
Boy, it like moves. Nice.
Yeah, they're just kind of.
Oh, man.
And I actually didn't know how the double doors would work, so I
Yeah.
actually made a little
Model?
sample one. Yeah,
Okay.
a little model of one, a little prototype, to see if the doors would actually open that way.
Right. And they do.
And they seem to work all right. What I want to try to do sometime, though, is to make some kind of little piston device where they'll stay open a certain
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
But
All right.
I haven't gotten to that point yet. So wow. But anyway, when I got this made, I didn't know if I had any room to put it. So this wall, luckily, didn't have a whole lot of stuff at the time, so it was able to work out okay. But anyway, these are the
Wow.
inner sanctum, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
But,
And there's more.
so there's a lot of strange tools in there, and some of them
I
aren't
see.
actually woodworking tools, but they're just different types of tools.
Yeah.
This little fella here with the eyes here, I got that one from K. Smith.
Okay.
Anyway, I went to a tool sale, and he had this, so I had to get that. So, and sometimes these things, you put a little humor on it.
Oh, yeah,
This worked
absolutely.
out to
Yep,
noise.
absolutely.
But the first thing I had to do was to figure out how I was going to put my planes. So this area in here was the first section I tried to figure out. So I had a sheet of old carpeting, so I would lay the planes down, and I had them going horizontally in different ways, and I just didn't like the look of it there. So I finally came up with this kind of configuration. But let's see, then this actually opens up into others because I had all this space. I had all this free space in here, so I thought,
Wow.
you know, these things stuck out a little bit, but I had all this space in here, so I thought, well, there's got to be a way that I can display
Use it
more
all.
tools in these spaces here.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yep. So it's fairly complete.
really
Then
neat.
through the years, I've gone into the bedrocks, and I like the flat-sided bedrocks. They're the newer ones, and then the old 77 here, which was kind of cool there.
Oh yeah.
You have cutters for it too?
Yeah, all the cutters, all 9 cutters are in back. They're on little pegs there.
Okay.
But getting the little cutters,
That's the hard part.
man, getting all those. There's I think 9 sizes,
Yes.
and they all go for the different things. Now this I picked up at a yard sale. It didn't have this front cutter, or it didn't have the template for the square pegs there, and it didn't have the adjustment there, and I had to get that. But I got the other machine for about $15. But finding this and this little handle, and the thing is, this is a left-hand thread on here.
That's correct. Yes. They're hard to find.
So
Yeah.
you can't just make one.
Wait,
right,
Yep,
you can't
yep.
make one.
So I had to find one on eBay. So I probably paid 3 times as much for just these 2 parts. But it was worth it. Now this handle switches around when you want to use it there.
Yes.
And it all comes off there. So it's some of the stuff is really interesting to to research and see what it does and stuff like that. And
Marsh
there's a lot
made
of
those too.
miscellaneous stuff.
Yep.
I went to Dan Raber's one time, and he's always trying to sell me something for my tool cabinet. Well, he brought me one of these one time, and he says, "I bet you don't have this." And I said, "Well, Dan, actually, I do have one of those." So we kind of
Yeah.
bicker back and forth
Yep.
a lot of times as to what's what. So yeah. So it's kind of
amazing.
neat. So.
I love how you designed it out and laid it
Yeah.
out though. Like
It's cool.
Yeah, and like I said, there's a lot of things that aren't tool related.
they're just neat.
This little puppy here, I don't know if you know what that is or not. So
Is that for the meters?
no, it's actually a tuning. So you can change the tone when somebody was a chorus or something like
Yes.
that. They would do this to get everybody on the same note,
Ah,
Okay.
and then you can change this.
So you can change the.
Yeah, you can change the pitch.
Okay. And there's one higher.
And then, yeah.
Right.
And so it'll change the different pitches to
Right.
different ones. So it
That's
has
neat.
nothing to do with tools.
Tools.
But it's
But it
cool.
was just a neat little thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool.
And just, like I said, I had to do some research to see what in the world that thing was.
Yeah.
Even. So, and some of the smaller little things, it's hard to find some of these smaller little mics.
Wow.
The
Yeah.
half inch rather than just the inch ones there. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is just popped in with the earth magnets.
Yeah.
See, those earth magnets are great.
Yes,
because
they are.
It keeps everything intact and it doesn't rattle around
Right,
and stuff
right.
like that. So
Yeah, that's
Well,
awesome.
you got the lady legs, the lady leg calipers.
yeah.
It's like those would look great in here.
Most of them were handmade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen a pair of stirrups before though.
Really,
Yeah,
there
Sturt-
were
well,
there were like
Sturt-
these, huh?
Yeah.
Sturt made them, I think, for a couple of years.
Huh.
And someone in the office complained, and so they stopped making them.
No way, really.
Of
Because
course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
now,
a-
if you
one
had
of the
a,
secretaries.
this little drill here was kind of interesting because I had to look at that and I looked at the name and it said Ruger on it.
Ruger?
Ruger, and I thought Ruger. Well, he made guns.
Yeah.
Yes.
It says, why is this shaped like a gun? So I thought, well, evidently when he made guns, he must have made the drills after he made the guns. Well, believe it or not, the research says that he made these drills before he made the
The
guns.
guns. Right.
That does not make any sense to me at all.
That's interesting.
But anyway, he's got like clip and everything like that, and
So his dream was to make guns, but he started with drills.
yeah. He started with tools. He made a
Yeah.
few tools, and he actually started to go bankrupt, and
Okay.
back in like 1944 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And
They
then
started making guns.
and then somebody else came in with him, and he started making guns. But it's neat because he still has the Ruger name on here,
Yeah.
Southport, Connecticut.
Yes.
So,
Awesome.
yep.
I used to collect these.
Yeah.
One- yeah.
That's the hardest. That's
Yep.
the hardest one to find.
Yes,
Most
it
of them
is.
are in England.
Or they're
And,
fake.
Yeah.
People cut
or,
up,
or they cut off
Yep.
the end.
Yep,
They
it
don't
actually
have this
has-
little nib on here, but
Right.
yep.
That's awesome.
So that was a little hard to find. Then,
yeah.
then these are a little difficult too. I got this one from Dan Reber. It's just a little one there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the Stanley book they
Missed out on
have
one of
some
those.
different ones.
Huh?
I missed out on one of those.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, it was $5 and someone beat me to it.
Oh,
One of these?
man.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of the
Oh yeah, no, that's
a
beautifully
lot of
done.
different things there. Like I said, I've tried to get sets and stuff like that,
Yep.
which is kind of hard to do. But
Do you have a favorite?
no, of course,
All of it.
There's my. Chris, there's
Number
my
one.
number one Stanley.
Yep.
And I don't do it justice
Sweetheart, too.
because in the Studley book, he's got his own little mausoleum
Yeah,
Right,
he does
for that,
the
yes.
for the number one.
Yep.
And well, and when I was trying to think, where in the world am I going to put my number one?
Yep.
I didn't do it justice. So I turned it upside down and kind of hid it in there.
But it's
So-
still center stage, so you're
yeah,
okay.
it's still in there. So, but the handle was nice, and I think I got this from somebody in Canada.
Okay.
But I paid around $800 for this, so I
Nice.
did pay up for it. But they're
Yeah.
going for, I can't believe they're going for a lot more money now.
Does he know?
I don't know. I just found one about a month ago at Litchfield. For
Really?
$10.
Are you serious?
$10.
Sitting next
$10,
to
yep.
Bedrock 602 for
No
$10.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unreal. I haven't
Yeah.
been to Litchfield in a long
And
time.
I,
Well,
I
the
got
problem-
you
$1,500
got-
for it. I sold it for $1,500.
Really?
Yeah.
I would say
Wow,
Yep.
that is unreal.
Yep.
I do have a, let's see, up here, I've got the little draw knives.
I saw this little thing.
Well,
yeah.
this one I think I got from Dan Reber, and I think it's handmade, but it was just such a beautiful job. And then,
That is awesome.
of course, I've probably got 20 or 30 of these draw knives around. I was at an auction over in Holly Road over by Grafton. A guy had this hanging on the wall, and I thought, man, I don't need another one of these. Well, and I noticed what the name was, and I thought, well, I'm sure that they made thousands of these, and I almost didn't buy it. It was like $10.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a Stanley. And you don't,
I've never seen a
That
Stanley
yeah,
before.
no.
and in the Stanley book, the Stanley mentions that in their book.
Which stamp is it?
Just
It's like
standard.
And I had looked because it doesn't have a number or anything on it. Here
there
it is right here.
Yeah.
So that's it. And
1990 to 1910.
yeah, and then what got me is it says not listed in any Stanley catalog, perhaps provided with tool chests or special orders. At least 2 examples known.
One.
There's one of them.
Right, go ahead.
Wow.
Marked Stanley in block letters.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is. Wow.
And when I got home and saw that, I thought, I almost didn't buy that.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to roll some footage of his shop during the outro because his shop is just awesome also. The main thing that I want to say is please don't get any kind of tool envy or tool jealousy over this. He has spent years collecting the tools and the collection that he has. So don't think that this is something that just happened overnight. He spent a long time searching for these tools. And you heard he got some deals on some things too because he was hitting the flea market. So just keep that in mind. But I think he did a phenomenal job on that tool chest. The craftsmanship was amazing. Feel free to check out that other video as well. It's going to be a little bit more slowed down so you can pause it and look at all the different things. There was no way I would have been able to capture every single tool in that chest within a video. You guys would have been sitting here for hours. So anyways, if you have any questions, any comments, anything like that, feel free to let us know. David and Jim, thank you so much for this opportunity. This was just amazing. So thank you all and have a good day.